Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, diaspora, and good evening from wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to this presentation of TVBAKWETU, and I'm your host, Linda Banks, with my co-host, Frank Saliki. Frank, good evening.
Sorry, I was muted then. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Banksy. How are you? I was speaking to myself then.
I noticed that. I just thought that perhaps you just want to have your own conversation. Well,
okay.
Nice
silent TV. Silent
Absolutely.
TV.
Exactly. That would be quite nice, quite interesting. Welcome to BAKWETU presentation. And if you're just joining us, I can see a lot of people just logging in and sharing that link. We're going to have a fantastic, very different kind of TV BAKWETU. Not business, not politics, but we're going to be diving into the strange world of entrepreneurship. And in our midst, we've got a very special guest who also has his own platform, actually, and his name is Munalula Munalula. Muna, good evening and welcome to the family of BAKWETU.
Good evening. I am finally on TVBAKWETU. It's a pleasure being here. I have been following you for a very long period of time, and I'm really a huge fan of TVBAKWETU. So I just want to say thank you for having me. It's definitely an honor being here. I also want to say good evening, well, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are watching us from. So thank you very much for tuning in to all the viewers out there.
It's
Fantastic.
nice to
Well,
have you. One thing I want to ask you is that did your parents like the Munalula name so much they named you twice?
Yes, the name is so nice, you have to say it twice. But here's the backstory. Here's the
we're going.
backstory.
Yeah, go
Oh,
on.
anyway, right. So I asked my dad why he gave me the same names twice. So he just said, in the Lozi culture, it's very fashionable to have the same name twice, like Mukelevai, Mukelevai, and usually people who've got these types of names, they are pretty smart and brilliant. So he was like, I want to have one of my sons named Munalula Munalula. So that's there you
Fantastic.
have
Oh,
it.
you're going to be meeting Mukelevai Mukelevai. We've got M squared, so that will be quite interesting.
I'm not sure I
Now,
can cope.
no, I think you cop just fine, Frank. It will be absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm just going to address the youths. If you are youth, you are in Zambia especially, or you could be in diaspora, and you're just thinking, I don't know where to get started. I don't know what to do with myself. I would suggest you get yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and listening. Please tag all your friends. If you're a parent, your friends' sons and daughters. Call them, call everyone, tag everyone that you know. And I want to see actually if you can manage to share to 5 Facebook pages that you belong to. And share the link to all the various WhatsApp groups that you belong to. That would be amazing because I think you're going to love this program. You're going to find it so beneficial. Munalula, now you can dive into your history. I've been fascinated by what you do and I've been really impressed. I've been following your work. You said you're a big fan. We're a big fan of yours as well. So we thought we'll bring you here and we have a little chat, just an informal chat.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So we just want to know a little bit about you. You said you're Lozi and just your family background and how did you find yourself in Russia?
Right. So I am half Lozi, half Lamba. My dad
Oh,
has got Lozi parents, so he's 100% Lozi. Then my mom is 100% Lamba. So I'm half Lozi, half Lamba. But the Zambian
That's,
culture is
that's,
supposed to follow the tribe of
that's
your
very
parents.
interesting. That's very
Yeah.
interesting because so I'm half Lozi and she's Lamba, so you belong to both of
Yeah, I'm a
us.
combination of you. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's that. But my name is Munalula, and I think like I'm more Lozi because my dad is Lozi, so that's just how Zambia goes, and this is our culture. So, but I embrace both, tribes. I'm usually in Luansha. I used to go for a lot of holidays. I can even speak like a little bit of Lamba, because Lamba is not really that different from Bemba. But when it comes to Lozi is a little bit tricky because my dad never really used to speak a lot of Lozi. He only used to speak Lozi when relatives would come. And this is one of the reasons why when people hear my name, right, Rom Nalula Mnala, they assume that I really, really know how to say it in Lozi, but they usually get disappointed. But I have a tutor. I'm learning Lozi right now. So,
oh,
yeah.
that is fascinating. I'm very impressed. I have a tutor as well. My lumber is not as brilliant as I would love it to be. So I have a tutor. I'm learning. We seem to be on a similar
That's an
trajectory. And
interesting one.
Frank,
I've got a tutor as well. I've got a Lozi and Bemba tutor because obviously living in the country, I was losing that touch, and I thought I've just had a little boy, and I thought I want to teach him. But if I don't, if I'm rusty myself, I'm not going to teach him very much.
that
Right,
is
right.
true. Yeah, that is true. Actually, buddy, I think your Bemba could do with a little bit of brushing up. I agree with that. Just the other
Okay,
day you were
okay.
saying, Frank, the other day you were saying Chihuahua or something ridiculous like that. And I was like, what are you on about? Chihuahua. Huh?
Is that? I, it's Chihuahua and Kalembala.
Kalembla. Oh, Kalembla was the worst one, actually. That was really funny. So we all have tutors, which means that we really value our roots, and I'm really impressed about that. Now, Muna, how did you come up with Zed Corner? What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, so I created Zed Corner in 2015 or even earlier, well, when I was still in university. And it's just something that I was doing part time. Well, I still do it part time. And I wanted to create something that will give me an edge, digital equity. You see, now the world is evolving and you need, online presence. If you look at most of the major stars, Will Smith, he's very rich, very successful, but he always interacts with people and he's always connecting. If you look at people like Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest people on earth, he's always, online and he's like a regular person. So I thought of creating my digital equity. Now I'm using the word equity because that's very important. So if you follow, Mark Zuckerberg and where Facebook is going, right? I'm sure you have heard of the word meta, the metaverse. So basically in the next few years, right, if you do not have any online presence, it's going to be hard for you to do anything. I mean, we've got prime examples. Look at Dr. Mjajat. He's a doctor. He's very successful, but he's always interacting with people. So if you look at where the world is evolving to, right, you definitely need social media presence in order for you to have like leverage and edge over your peers, because it's becoming very competitive. It's becoming very competitive and you need digital equity. You can get to do that by, building your brand online, building your brand and making sure you've got presence online via all these social media platforms, and just make sure that you've got digital equity. It's very important.
Fantastic. Talking of Dr. Mjajati, he's going to grace us with his presence on Sunday. So viewers, if you're watching, make sure you tune into Bakwetu. We're going to have the incredible Dr. Mjajati. Now you're talking about digital equity. If there's a youth in Chuempala listening intently and they're thinking, what in God's name is this animal digital equity?
Yeah, so digital equity is basically like something that represents your value online, just like the way people are on land, right? Right now we are in this metaverse. By the way, I'm using the same term, metaverse, right? Because we are all well connected. So having an estate on the digital land is something which is very valuable. Right now, in order for, let's say, for example, a movie star to be considered for a role, right? They look at his or her digital equity. Your digital equity and the value of your brand increases the likelihood of you getting to get business and just basically put yourself like on a higher pedestal. So digital equity is just basically your online presence and how big your brand is, and just your online presence.
Good. Frankie?
I think it's a very important point. I remember when I first started doing my motivational speaking, the first thing people asked me was, where's your YouTube channel? Where is your Facebook? So people want to see something that is already out there, something that's already visible. It's important. So the point you're making in there is having something that's out there already. So when somebody says,
definitely,
show me what you do, you can say, right, this is my website, this is my social media, you'll see everything that I'm all about.
And just to add on to that, right, you see, having digital equity or an online presence, it helps you do things quicker. A lot of Zambian youth say, I don't have connection, I'm not well connected. You've got a phone. With a phone, you can easily reach anybody. And you see, we need to understand the basics. So obviously you have all heard of is it the 5 degrees of separation? Have you heard about that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So
it's actually a book based on that.
Yeah, with online presence, you minimize it to about three steps. So you are minimizing two steps from the 5 steps. Let me give you a prime example. Let's say, for example, I want to get to meet President Hichilema, right? Using my online digital equity, I can put up a message or I can reach out to people. And by the way, using my online presence, I'm able to connect to you guys who are connected to Dr. Munsha, who's connected to President Hichilema. So already I have minimized the steps and my connectivity between me and President Hichilema. So it's very important. So having an online presence allows you to easily do things. Let's say, for example, I've got a product, which I have, because by the way, I'm also the founder of TechAbantu. We have a suite of software related products. Right now we have—
we're going to dig into that, Mona. We will dig
yes.
into that.
Yes. So what I was trying to say is, if you have a product, if you've got a service, if you have an online following, it makes it easier for you to make money. Way too easy. Because right now, Zed Corner is reaching around 6 to 10 million Zambians per month. So let's say, for example, I have a product or a service, right? And usually there's the 80-20% rule. 20% of my audience is going to be able to purchase my services and my products. So from that 6 million reach that I have, right, 20% is probably going to convert into sales and clients. And that to me is very profound and very powerful. So having an online presence just gives me a better edge and more of an advantage, because number one, people already know me. They already know me. People feel like they can relate to me. So it's very easy for me to do business with them. So one of the reasons why I created Zed Corner is, number one, the most important part, digital equity and business, because I am by the way, let me also correct something. You have written entrepreneur, and that's a very huge misunderstanding that people have. I am not an entrepreneur. Because the difference between somebody who's self-employed and somebody who's an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur is able to get away from their business for about 6 months without them doing anything, and the business is going to run. So people like President Hakainde Hichilema is an entrepreneur. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur. What I do right now is I am self-employed, because I'm still trying to scale my business to a level where I have a lot of workers. And let's say, for example, I'm sick for about 6 months, or if I'm away, my business can be able to run. But at this particular moment, right, I need to consistently put in effort on a daily basis. I haven't really reached that level yet where I can get away from my business for 6 months and still have it running, and, you know, having very good ROE and just basically having a good turnover. So that's a major difference between self-employment and entrepreneurship. So people usually—
well, receive it. Perhaps that is something to come.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna ask
I mean,
something.
of course.
Can I ask something important before we move on? You mentioned
sure.
social media. You mentioned social media, the importance of social media. So I've got my own page. Banks has got our own page, and I understand. I remember I made my Facebook page, and I thought it's going to be easy. I was going to have a Facebook page, and people are going to like it, and people are going to. Can you just go into the nitty-gritty of the foundations of what it takes to make— when you first build that page, the work that goes in? I understand what actually goes in. So that for me, it's important that we encourage young people, but also we don't sell them something to say, if you make Facebook, tomorrow you're going to get a lot of followers. Actually, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of groundwork that goes in to build that audience, to build that credibility.
Right. So basically what you're trying to ask me is the aspect of getting to build a Facebook page. I talked about online presence and digital equity, and there are several platforms. There are different ways of marketing and selling yourself, your products, using different platforms. There's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Facebook. So in order for you to find a strategy that works for you, right, you have to, first of all, understand the type of niche that you are in. You know, let's say, for example, I want to, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
No,
I hope everything is
you
right.
were the one who went, Linda.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on the—
for a minute.
All right. Yeah, so it depends on the type of niche that you're trying to get into. Let's say, for example, I want to sell a product on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is usually for people who are serious CEOs and just basically people who make a lot of money. So you can't use the same strategies on Facebook. But since your question is in relation to Facebook, right? First of all, you have to identify what type of niche you are in. What type of products are you going to be selling? Because a lot of people have been seeing me on Facebook for the past, 3 months. I've been consistent, and they think I just love Facebook. But at the back of my head, I know that soon I'm going to be selling a product. Soon I'm going to be having services, but I need to warm up my audience. And with regards to identifying the niche, most of my audience is obviously, people who are interested in politics, people who are between the ages of 18 to around 35. So first of all, you have to identify the niche, identify your target demographics, and then identify what type of things attracts those type of people to you. Let's say, for example, today, the past two posts that I put, it was about Michael Sata and Anderson Mazoka. I already know if I put this particular post, right, a lot of them are really going to find this type of content very helpful, and there's going to be some sort of reaction, and people are going to enjoy it because, number one, I already understand my audience. I already understand the people that I want to attract and my already existing audience. And it's very important to always look at those analytics data. So in order for you to grow a page, right, you have to understand what you currently have. You have to go into your settings, your creator studio, look at your analytics. What type of demographics do I have? Where are they located? What's the, age group? And what are they reacting to? So all those, tiny, minute details, it helps the algorithm get to promote your content. And by the way, Linda, earlier on, I was telling you about the algorithm that we have on Zed Corner. So
exactly.
getting to do things that really get to resonate with the algorithm is what's going to help your page to grow. So it's all about understanding the algorithm. Facebook has got a certain algorithm. YouTube has got a certain algorithm. LinkedIn uses a different algorithm. TikTok also uses a different algorithm. So getting to understand the type of algorithm that is going to sort of promote your content to your already existing audience. So in order for you to grow your page, right, you have to make sure that your audience, the audience that you have, let's say you've got 1,000 subscribers or followers, they first of all have to like your stuff, and then the algorithm is going to pick it up and say, oh, okay, his audience likes it, so maybe let me promote it to other people as well. So first of all, start with the audience that you have, provide content that really resonates with them, and then the algorithm is going to be working to your advantage. So that's one of the things that you can do. So it's very important to know the niche that you're trying to target, because a lot of people are all over the place. I know, I understand I'm on TVBAKWETU, and I see this problem with Dr. Munsha. His content is all over the place. Like he posts this.
We just calm down on that. I think when you're a guest in a house, I don't think
go
it's
easy.
for you to start criticizing the owner.
No.
We have, hold on, Frank. Sorry, just a second. We have a green room where we can air all those views. I thought I'd just add that in there before.
Oh, okay. So my point
is very prudent. Ask your mom. You come to a house, you will not start criticizing your friend's mother's cooking just yet. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. But I was just trying to make a point.
I thought I'd
yes.
just add that in there. But having said that, in the green room, let rip and give it. This is one of the reasons why I thought you would be lovely to have you, so that we can compare notes and then take it from there. My next question for you, Muna. You talked about the 5 degrees of separation, which is excellent. And you gave an example of, for instance, you want to meet the president and you're just 5 people away from him. And it's a very good example, because that's exactly what happened to me. In London, I wanted to meet the president, and I knew a few people who knew a few people, and that happened. So it's very important for young people to realize that their online presence, it's very important to keep it clean. You were talking about the digital presence. What is the importance? Perhaps 5 reasons why you think it's important to keep a healthy, clean digital presence.
Yes, because number one, people are going to be judging you based on what you sort of put out. So this is one of the reasons why it's always very important to understand that your image is what people are going to be judging you on. And a lot of people usually look at me on a daily basis. I always try to at least be, official, because I understand that, people are going to be looking at me and they're going to be sort of judging me. And for me, I'm a little bit disadvantaged because, number one, I've got like a squeaky voice and I look not so mature. So I need to like overdo it. I need to always, put on a suit so that people can take me serious. So it's very important to have a very clean image, because that is what people are going to be judging you on. And when you create an impression, it's very hard for you to like redo it. So it's very
You're right.
important to always have a squeaky image and make sure that whenever you are online, your online presence resonates with the character and the type of products that you are trying to sell, and just basically the image and the reputation that you're trying to build. So branding is very important, and one of my passions is sales, marketing, business development. That is my passion. So it's very important to always keep a clean brand and always market yourself the way that you want to be addressed, because people are going to be using your image to categorize you. So it's very important not to slack. On a daily basis, you have to be sharp and make sure that you are
the best that you can be, and also
definitely.
not just as a business person, but also some youths who are looking for employment. I see a lot of youths make this mistake where they're busy insulting other content producers, constantly writing terrible things about them, but they don't realize that there could be an employer looking for someone in a particular field. And the first thing that most people do, they'll go online and check you out. And if they see that you have been up to no good, obviously it puts you at a disadvantage. Frankie, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, that's very important. Me being in human resources, we do this constantly. We cannot do this when we get applicants who are quite close. We deliberately go and say, let's look at their online presence, and we have picked, and I have been in a position where I looked at a candidate's application, it looked brilliant, and I've gone, but their online presence is not that good, and I've not invited them for an interview for that very reason. So it's important in what we put in. We might write it today, we don't think much about it, but 5 years from now, it will have much bigger implications.
That is true.
To our lives.
That is true. Now, Muna, I want to find out, how do you monetize on your page? So if there's a youth who's decided they're going to create a Facebook page or a Twitter account or an Instagram page, and they want to sort of start working for themselves and make a few quid, perhaps maybe raise money to go to college or that sort of thing, how do you monetize, for instance, on Facebook?
All right, so now that's a little bit tricky because monetization has got many aspects. Number one, you can monetize your audience even, let's say, for example, if you've got a product or a service that you are providing, that's getting to monetize your audience. And then there's a second monetization where, let's say, for example, you are part of the creator program, let's say on YouTube or Facebook, right? Whenever you are having, whenever you produce content like a video, there's an ad which is there. So there are several types of monetization efforts and strategies. So what I usually tell people is before you even think of creating your account, you have to think about the product that you have, either a product or a service that you're going to be providing. Let's say, for example, you are an artist, you've got art, right? So obviously you're going to be selling your collection and some sort of images. So it's very important for you to attract, or rather resonate with your audience, so that you can be able to sell them your digital art or your collection. So that's one way of monetizing, which is very easy to do if you've got like a connection with your audience. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one is getting to be part of a creator program like on Facebook, whereby Facebook gets to play some ads on your content. With that one, it depends on your location. Unfortunately, for Zambia, there isn't any way to do that. So this is one of the reasons why when I look at a lot of content creators in Zambia, let's say, for example, a lot of comedians, because you prohibited me from using names.
No, actually, I do like to promote other comedians and people who are working for themselves. No, go ahead.
Yes, so a lot of comedians in Zambia have got like a lot of views on their YouTube channels, but they are not really able to like maximize their potential. And one of the ways that a lot of comedians get to monetize their audiences by being masters of ceremonies and just providing these services, either ads or doing some brand deals. So they are missing out on a lot of revenue because, number one, Zambia is not really monetizable when it comes to Facebook, because there's a few countries which are able to get monetized. And this is where the networking is concerned. Let's say, for example, I'm here in Russia, right? Russia is monetizable. So what they need to do is they need to find somebody who stays in another country and then just come up with a plan, be an admin, and then I'm going to monetize on your behalf, because all those views that they get, they can really end up making more than $2,000 per month. Let's say, for example, you are generating over 4 million views on Facebook, right? You can easily generate $2,000 per month, but you have to work with somebody who is in another country. And this is where another aspect of another business that you and I can do, or Frank, or anybody who's in another country, we can have a network whereby we get to help Zambian content creators monetize their accounts, and then we get a percentage, because without us they wouldn't get monetized. So that's already a business idea that we can use. We can get to set up a network where we help content creators in Zambia get monetized, and then they make money from the ads. So besides the ads that they're going to be getting from the revenue that they're going to be getting paid from Facebook, they're also going to be having other gigs. They've got master of ceremony gigs, they've got brand deals. So like that, as a comedian in Zambia, you've got multiple sources of revenue, and you can get to maximize your digital online presence. Because one of the things that I really discourage people from doing is being famous and broke, being popular and broke. It doesn't really make any sense, And
I think that on that point, actually, you find a lot of comedians, to be precise, who are very famous. They're known and their content is hilarious. It breaks my heart to see that they are not making any money at all. I'm currently working with one on their page. They've got thousands and thousands of followers, but they're not making any money on it. But I think the problem that comes in is the trust thing. So they're thinking, you're in diaspora, how can I trust you? And they don't understand how algorithms work. And so it's really important that you mentioned that, so that they can understand that you can partner with a person in diaspora to work on monetization. I got a question from someone saying, what does monetization mean? So monetizing, the first two letters will tell you it's about money, how you can make money from your page. Frankie, you wanted to add to that?
So I was going to say, so like for me, in what I do when it comes to, I've got my own author page, because apart from everything I do, I'm also a published author. So it's in everything that I do, I've got my audience. I'll talk about my book. I'll talk about everything that I do. And in all what I do is I make sure that my book pops up and my page says Frank Saliki author, so that people know this person has written the book straight away. So it's just giving them, the moment they come to the page, at the moment they see the video, they know that I'm an author, and they know that I've got a book. They know the title of the book, so that the motivational videos I'm making is inspiring them. But also I want them to go, there is this product that you can buy. So I'm not just telling up
streams of income. So
multiple streams of income.
Not just selling one product, but you are scaling.
So some people, So some people will see me and they will message me and say, do you want to come and speak? So that brings in income. Some people will see me, they will say, oh, I get you're a life coach. Can we see if we can work together? So in one video, I can sell 3 things in just doing one thing. That's the idea of just turning up every week instead of just making content and it's not giving you any revenue.
Absolutely. Now, Muna, we have just been joined by Woma Penza. Before I let him jump in, I want you to tell our audience if they have a page, especially the artists. So this could be a comedian, could be a musician, but musicians. They've got scores and scores of followers, but they're not scaling from their pages. What sort of things do you think they can do to start monetizing, apart from obviously partnering with another person who's in diaspora?
Yeah, they have to come up with a product or a service, and then they have to be pitching these services to people, so that the people watching them can obviously get to either purchase a product or a service from them. So that's one of the most important things that you're supposed to be doing, because it's very easy to get lost in the sauce, because a lot of these comedians have got good educational background. A lot of them are very talented in other aspects. So it's very important for you, with regards to a lot of your content, you have to either promote your service or your product in the video or after the video or somewhere on your page, so that when people come to you, they already know what type of other services you have. That's very important.
Fantastic. Boma Penza, welcome to the program. Please dive in.
Thank you, Linda. Maybe just pronounce my name properly.
Mapanza.
Mapanza. Okay.
Well, I do apologize. I don't hail from your part of the world, so very likely that I'll mispronounce your name.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
That is Lozi, isn't it? I'll work on my Lozi. We have tutors here. Frank's got a tutor. Muna's got a tutor. We're trying to work on our pronunciation of words. Apologies.
Yeah, mine is Tonga. Don't worry about that. Good evening, Frank.
Mapanza.
And
we'll learn
Muna.
Tonga as well. Oh my God, we'll add Tonga.
Yeah,
to the mix. Why not?
Yeah,
what's another language?
It's good to see Muna on the BAKWETU TV finally.
Finally, it's good to be here.
Finally, yes. You know where we have come from, eh?
Yes, Linda, I was talking about Mr. Mapanza last time you were asking me. So I think he's the one who helped me reach you. So without him, we wouldn't have started communicating. So
well, thank you so much, Mr. Mapanza. I didn't even know that you had my phone number. So that's good.
Oh,
we belong to
you actually shared your phone number.
Where? No, I don't remember.
You did. Yeah, you did. I asked for it at one point and you shared it.
I speak to so many people, so you probably have a trusting face, and I thought, he can't take it anywhere else. So it's all good. It's great. Now we have Muna here. That's lovely.
Yeah. So I look forward. Yeah, I look forward to hearing more from Muna. I've been listening to him, and I thought he has a fantastic program, and he's doing a lot of things which I thought would be important actually to introduce to many Zambians. And initially, it looked like he wouldn't come on TVBAKWETU, but finally here he is. So I look forward to hearing more from him, and perhaps ask questions as we go along. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Now we have been joined by Womkelevai. Now I'm apologizing in advance if I'm measuring the pronunciation of these names. They're not exactly like John, are they? So I'm really doing my very best. Don't crucify me.
Mom Kalavai,
Kimanzibwani Chavasa Jesus, Chavasa Bulozi. Good evening, BAKWETU. I'm so delighted. Today you brought this gentleman that I have been hearing about. He's how do I put it? A mouthpiece for the youths. He's the mouthpiece for the Zambian. He has brought a lot of positivity when it comes to information. BAKWETU, you are doing well, and Zed Corner, you really surprised me, and I am so impressed with you. You're one gentleman that is that this government should actually be able to appreciate and award you something that is very positive, that you are doing something positive to our country, and we love that part. And please don't yell.
Won that.
Mukai, where are you?
I'm in Moscow at the moment. I'm in Moscow.
That is amazing. Oh, that's really nice. You are almost my neighbor here.
Almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm impressed. Did you just
what are you saying, Volinda? I can't hear you. The volume is a little bit. Let me try to put my volume as well high.
Okay.
What are you saying?
I was saying to Muna, I was really impressed. He just says litumezi. That he's a quick learner, so the Lozi lessons are going on very well there.
Yeah, well, they're going well. They're going well. Muna,
Please,
sorry, Mom.
Munalula, could you kindly finish? Munalula, that is his name.
No, he calls
Munalula.
himself Muna.
Oh, man, I'm Muskamon, he has a trial king in that day. Ah.
He calls himself Muna. Don't start a
No,
war.
just
Good evening.
let him speak, Lozi, for just 30 seconds and he get this one. I promise you, he will surprise you.
Okay, Munalula.
Ensha.
My question I have now. So we've had over the last the new Dawn budget, and there's going to be money that's going to be allocated for entrepreneurs. So if you're in Zambia right now and there's young people at the moment, what advice would you be giving them with these resources being said they're going to be available?
Right. So I'm going to have like a very controversial take because I'm a realist and I've been self-employed for over 7-8 years, and I understand how business works. So first of all, you have to understand that there is the learning curve when it comes to like any type of business. So if you have never done any type of business and you get a lot of money, there's a high probability that it's not really going to turn out as fancy as you would love it to be. So I would encourage people who've already been doing something, people who've already failed, people who've already had the experience to get that extra boost. Let's say, for example, you get a loan, like what a lot of people did in the past, right? If you haven't had any experience, if you haven't failed, if you haven't been liquidated, if you haven't been gone bankrupt, it's just because you've got the money doesn't mean that you're going to be able to succeed. But let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, you are very sure that whatever niche you're in is going to work, right? Then you have to understand the market. You have to understand if that market is going to be feasible and if you're going to be able to maneuver and navigate in that particular market, because starting a business is about succeeding by the end of the day. And it's about making sure that if you go into a particular industry niche, you can be able to dominate and you can be able to like overcome those hurdles. So what I would say to the youths out there is they have to understand themselves. They have to understand what they're getting into even before getting the money, because getting that type of money, if you've never had any experience, you might even end up, in more problems. So it's very important to only allow the youths who've had a history of getting to do something, because by the end of it all, you don't want the government to waste money. You want to make sure that when the government gives money to these youths, right, they obviously end up succeeding, because if you do not do that, you're going to end up wasting the money. So it's very important as somebody who's going to be looking for funding to have had experience. But a lot of people are going to say, how do I get the experience? How do I know, and where do I start from? Well, you can start from wherever you are, and you can start on a small scale, be successful, then get more money. So it's very, very important. So I'm just being a realist.
Yeah.
So
in other words, what you're saying,
in other words,
what you're saying is more money. More money doesn't mean success.
Yes, you need to have already started. Before you even look for the extra boost, the funding, the extra money, you need to have been doing something. You need to have had the learning curve. I use the learning curve because it's very important. The learning curve is what's going to give you experience. It's going to allow you to know what works, what doesn't work, how to succeed, how not to fail, and so on and so forth. So money isn't the solution. Money isn't the solution. So first of all, you have to understand thoroughly whatever you're trying to get into.
Fantastic.
I have a question.
Gladys, before you come on, sorry, can we have Gladys, because you've had a chance to speak, and then we can come back to you.
I thought
Gladys,
I was just greeting the gentleman.
I will come back to you.
Thank you very much, Linda, for giving me the platform. Good evening, Muna, and thank you for coming to our BAKWETU program. We're delighted to see you, and I'm just curious about your being self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
What really inspired you? And being in Russia, I know that Russia is is a special country, in my own opinion. And what inspired you, and why Russia above all the countries? And what made you to be a self-employed? And have you been having any challenges? Did you have to learn Russia for you to start up your business?
Yeah, so I started my business or my self-employment journey in Zambia. So before I completed my high school, I was already doing, computer repairs, typewriting, formatting, software updates, and all that stuff. So I started from Zambia, and then when I came here, I had to get to learn the language. I had to learn this environment and so on and so forth. So I kind of forgot about being self-employed and entrepreneurship. I only started getting back into what I used to do when I was in my third year. So the reason I came to Russia is obviously due to education purposes. I got a scholarship, and then, I've been here since then. So the reason why I'm in Russia is if you want to find fishermen, you have to be by the river. So with regards to my niche, the industry that I'm into, software development, blockchain technology, and basically the metaverse. Russia has got the brilliant innovators when it comes to software development. If you look at, for example, the Ethereum blockchain, Vitalik Buterin is Russian, but he stays in Canada. So if you look at most of the innovative people, Russians are definitely part of them. So when it comes to the type of business that I do, because I outsource developers from Russia, from Czech Republic, and all these, the former Soviet Union nations, they have very, very good developers, and it's very affordable and cheap. And with regards to the type of work that we get and the complexity, right, I need to have people who are up to par. So this is one of the reasons why I work with a lot of, Indians, with a lot of Russians, with a lot of Chinese people, because if you talk about blockchain technology, I don't really know whether you know anything, whether you've heard blockchain technology, right? So I need to be with these types of people, so this is one of the reasons why I'm here. It helps me to basically get to outsource these developers and basically just get to do my thing. And the internet is cheaper.
The internet is cheaper. We're going to get a little bit deeper into blockchain technology. For all of us here, we do know what it is, just for the record. But for our viewers, it will be quite interesting to for you to just dissect it a little bit more. I know there are some Zambian entrepreneurs who are teaching blockchain technology, and see how, if you know of any, and if they're doing the right thing.
Ritumeza Hulutate for your insightful the knowledge. You have quite of credentials there. I am so proud of you, and I want you to keep up the good work. And I don't know, I understand somehow. I'm also in the diaspora, and I understand your calling. And unfortunately, we had people in Zambia that did not identify or rather acknowledge people of your profession to put them in a rightful position and to bring some kind of development and share this knowledge, awesome knowledge that you are busy now selling to the Russian, to the Putin of this world. We would love to have the Edward Snowden of our own in Zambia, not in a negative way, but in a very positive way, where we are going to develop the computer network. This world has come to an IT world, because I believe we are going to do something positive. And we are busy talking of satellite dishes in Zambia, and we hear people like you of their technology, technical know-how. You have been, or rather, stolen from us. You are now in Russia, benefiting. The people are benefiting. I don't think Zambia is benefiting. The only way Zambia is benefiting from you, Waiso, is through your program that you are doing right now and trying to link information from the average Zambian to the international world, which is a very good thing. But my question is, where do we see Munalula in 5 years, and how are we, the Zambian people, going to benefit from our Munalula technological aspect of running his business. We know it's a very good thing, Waisu. You are doing a wonderful thing, and I'm proud of you. And we want you home. Bring your knowledge home. Do you have any plans of training young or grooming
Definitely.
some young Zambians?
Yes, so at Zed Corner, we are going to be working on some workshops to provide this type of knowledge to the Zambian people out there. And one of the things that I am so passionate about is I want to make it in a way whereby people don't really get to pay for my services, because this is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing business. It's not because, I'm trying to get a post, because a lot of people, when they come to Zed Corner and they see me being vocal, a lot of them are like, are you looking for a job? I already have a job. I'm only doing Zed Corner part-time, and this is my passion. So we are going to be having workshops where we're going to be teaching people how to start with very little, because the biggest problem that a lot of Zambian youth say is we don't have opportunities, we don't have money, and we do not have the connection. So my way of doing things is teaching people how to use minimal resources. And this is even on a large scale. This is a problem that we have in Zambia. We are always complaining, saying we don't have a lot of money, we need foreign investors, when we have all these resources. So we just do not know how to use minimal resources to maximize our potential. So one of the things that I usually tell people is you can use different skills to make money. And I always keep on telling people, money is not really the problem. You can use your talent to get money, then start a business. So necessarily speaking, you don't really have to be handed a lot of millions of kwacha in order for you to start. And the people that usually end up succeeding are the people who use minimal resources. Today you've got $100, you flip it, you make $700. You flip it 10 times, you've got about $7,000. You flip it another 10 times, you've got around $70,000. So it's about teaching people how to use minimal resources and how to shorten the learning curve. So coming back to your question, where is Munalula going to be in the next 5 years? I do not really know where I'm going to be, but I can say I'm going to be better than I am. And during this phase, right, I'm going to fail. I'm going to be bankrupt, because I've failed a lot of times. I've lost a lot of money a lot of times. I haven't even had, sometimes rent for a lot of times, but I always learned from my mistakes. So wherever I'm going to be in the next 5 years, I'm going to be better than I am. But during that transition phase, there's going to be a lot of hurdles, and I hope I'm going to be able to overcome them. And then we are going to be having workshops for people, and I'm going to use my skills to come up with the money, with the funding, because a lot of times people usually want the government to fund something. So my approach is, instead of us begging the government or asking them to fund us, we are going to use our skills. We're going to come up with the corporate sponsors. We're going to put up our own money, and then we're going to hold these workshops and, basically get to impart this type of knowledge and skills to people for free while still making money. You can still be ethical and make money. So it's all about getting to utilize your skills and doing what you can for the majority of the people, and you can still end up making money while doing that.
Awesome.
Mona,
Proud of you.
Mona, something very important you just mentioned there. So when we talk about being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, I think a lot of our young people might think, I'll start a business and the business is going to make money straight away. Now, you and me understand that's not how business works. That's not how everyone. I understand that the first motivation speaking events I did, I made a loss in the first 5 I did. I understand. What is the importance of teaching our young people that actually going in business is tough? It can be tough. Sometimes you'll be sleeping on the floor because you can't afford the bed. You have to keep the business running. How important is that message is relayed to anyone before they start doing any form of business?
Yeah, you should let the people understand the type of risks that they are going to fail. And in the beginning, I told you that it's very important to only empower, or mostly empower, people who've already been doing something. Because realistically speaking, you need about 10,000 hours in order for you to master a certain skill. That even goes for a business. You need at least to have had a lot of experience, a lot of time put into that particular business in order for you to become very good at it. And it's going to flowlessly work in your favor. So it's very important to be realistic to people, and to tell them the truth that if you go into this particular journey, you are most likely going to end up failing if you're not really going to be able to quickly learn and shorten the learning curve. This is one of the reasons why I'm saying shorten the learning curve, because this is a problem that Zambia usually faces. We do not really know how to shorten the learning curve. So how can you shorten the learning curve? Ask somebody who's been doing it, get information, get a mentor. That's one of the ways you can avoid the mistakes that somebody else encountered. So let me give you a personal testament. Mostly, I usually learn things by doing. I do not really have any blueprint. There hasn't been any Zambian in Russia who I can go to and ask for things. How did you do this? How did you get these documents? How do I apply for my tax returns? How do I fill in my tax returns? Everything I have to do it on myself, or rather by myself. So if any other Zambian who's going to be coming after me, they're going to do it in less of a time that I spent trying to achieve certain things. So this is very important for shortening the learning curve. And I always tell people, if you really want to go into entrepreneurship, you've got like a very minimum window. You need to start the self-employment journey between 20 to mostly 35, especially for men, because let's say, for example, you start going into entrepreneurship when you're around 60. You're not really going to be able to take as much risk. So entrepreneurship and self-employment is a risk. Like right now, I'm actually risking by, not being employed, because if I start looking for a job, right, they're going to ask me for my experience. I do not have like any experience from any company and all that stuff. So it's very important to start early. Start early, fail as many times as you can, so that by the time you're reaching 30, you already have a grip of what not to do and how to avoid it. So it's very important to highlight the risks that you are going to be able to encounter, and you're mostly going to get bankrupt. You're most likely going to end up losing your spouse if you've got a wife, because entrepreneurship is very, very difficult. So you have to be very, very honest, and you have to study the niche. Because every niche has got different challenges on its own. So as much as we're talking about self-employment, entrepreneurship, we have to be honest with people, let them know that when you go into this particular industry, you're most likely going to fail in the next 3 years. And by the way, on average, a business becomes successful mostly after 3 years. So between year 0 to year 3, right? Put in a lot of manpower, fail a lot. You're probably going to drain your bank account. You're probably going to be overdrafting your bank account. So it's very important to clearly let the people know. So that's why when you ask me what people should do in order for them to benefit from the CDF, I told you, use the people who've already been doing something for the past 3 years and more. Give those people empowerment. Those people are going to bring in a bigger difference in comparison to people who are just going to be accessing these funds for the first time, because there is that learning curve. And right now, Zambia doesn't really have the luxury to fail. If we give money to people, they need to execute. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
But you answered my question, my brother, and I'm so delighted that we have such a very articulative and very brilliant mind young entrepreneur. I'll call it young because I know that you are a young man, and you are doing a wonderful job that myself, for example, at your age, I was still a dependent, not talking even about entrepreneurship. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship meant. I was busy depending on what my father or my mother would provide for me. I don't even want to do the house chores. But this is wonderful to hear that. I hope you are inspiring so many young people back home to do something positive in their lives. But I want to find out from you, my brother, from another mother. Uh, the issue is, what do you take? What's your take on this politician who, I'm using the word purporting to be businessmen? They involve themselves by virtue of them aligning themselves to politics. And then suddenly, even when the economy is so much not doing well, suddenly we see them making 2,000-3,000% profit of their businesses. They even start buying helicopters. Some they even go and start impregnating many women. Some they even, I'm just giving an example. And suddenly they are expert in business. Their business are booming. And when we confront them, they say, no, this money was earned legitimately from our business, when they don't experience that you, my brother here, are talking about, that they have to tap to the people with experience, those that started business earlier. What's your take on these politicians who are coming up with such kind of frivolous claims?
Right. So what I'm going to talk about is the effect and basically what that does to the entrepreneurial world. You see, we call them tenderpreneurs. These are the people who basically bulldoze, no pun intended, their way into business, and they sort of stifle the market and the competition. So what that does is it reduces competitiveness. And when a market is not being able to compete, there isn't any competition, right? Then you're going to have mediocre products and mediocre services. And we have a prime example. I don't really know whether you are conversant with one of the most brilliant minds in Zambia. His name is Mawanu Campbell. He's a very good tech guy. I think he started .com Zambia, right? So he had very good products, very good services. But due to the fact that a person who was well affiliated to the PF political party, right, his contracts or his businesses were sort of affected because they were giving all the work and all the jobs to this type of people. So the effect of tenderpreneurs is we have less competition, and when you have less competition, right, there isn't going to be any innovation. When there's no innovation, the country is going to be stagnant. So you need to not allow tenderpreneurs to consume the market, because they are going to be coming up with mediocre products, and they're not really going to be putting their air level game because there's nobody to compete with. This is also one of the reasons why we have, for example, consistent blackouts, because Zesco is pretty much a monopoly. There isn't any competition. There isn't any other company which is providing any better services. So tenderpreneurs destroy competition. Competition brings about innovation. This is one of the reasons why perhaps we don't have, well-proclaimed or worldwide celebrated innovators from Zambia, because everybody, wakuchipani. In order for us to prevent that situation, we need to provide incentives for people to go into entrepreneurship, self-employment. So how do we provide incentives for people to do this? You introduce tax breaks to people who are going to be opening up businesses. You give more loans to people who are going to be having more than, let's say, 6 figures in dollars of a turnover per year. So providing incentives for people to run away from chasing a ministerial post and going into entrepreneurship will raise the bar and will attract more people to go into entrepreneurship. This is one of the reasons why everybody wants to be a politician. Everybody wants to be an MP. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be an MP. I wouldn't want to be a minister of any, government institution, because it's a lot of work. I would rather concentrate on my business. So the reason why people are attracted and they want to be a politician is because they know that's where the money is. They've got incentives to go into politics. They've got incentives to be a minister, because they know if they've got a minister, if they are a minister, they are going to be getting all the contracts. So if we have policies in Zambia that prevents anybody who's got a huge post to have access to contracts, either their immediate relatives, then we're going to prevent tenderpreneurs. When we prevent tenderpreneurs, we're going to increase innovation and entrepreneurs. So it's all about providing incentives for an ecosystem to grow, to thrive. So it's very important.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that extensive answer. Now, I know Gladys has a question. I'm going to ask you to answer these questions in twos now, just so that we can maximize on the time. The first question that I have for you is, what is blockchain technology? I want you to just break it down a little bit for our audience, exactly what it is and how it can be beneficial to the Zambian youth and to Zambia anymore. And Gladys, so I'll ask Gladys to ask her question and then you can answer both of them if that's all right. Thank you.
Yes, Mona. Just like I heard from you, you said that during your transition phase of your business, you mentioned that you have had your own challenges, and I would like to specifically know those challenges because you and I know that when you are in the process of having a business as a foreigner, there could be a lot of challenges. I'm not advocating for racism, but racism is there. How has it been so easy? Because a lot of people, when they hear that you are self-employed, you are out there in Russia, it's not like you just boom, it happens that your business start booming just right away. There could be some other challenges because of your race or your color, and how easy has that been to be accepted? And also that when you mentioned also that when you start, you intend to train the Zambians, and I'm sure being exposed, you have to integrate the Russian culture or the Western culture and the African culture. If so, what's your plan? What criteria are you going to put in place in order for you to make it easy for the two cultures to meet?
Right. So I'm first of all going to start with Gladys's question, then I'll move on to Linda because the blockchain explanation is slightly more complex. So with regards to Gladys's question, the challenges that I face and the racism part, because a lot of people, when they just hear about Russia, they automatically think racism and all that stuff. But to be honest with you, I haven't really experienced racism like that. But there are some certain times when maybe some people kind of look at you in a certain way because they're just curious, because Russia is like 1000% white and there's only like a few black people here. So of course, sometimes you do face those moments whereby you just feel uncomfortable. But with regards to causing harm, I haven't, experienced anything that extreme. So to me, Russia has been, it's been good. I haven't had like any bad experience, to be honest. And a lot of my friends would also say that. And with regards to how I get business, I utilize the internet, the online platforms, and most of my clients are, outside of Russia. A lot of my clients are from America, Canada, Europe, and so on and so forth. So I do not basically get to deal with Russians on a business level like that. I mostly outsource Russian developers who are like part of my team, and we get to provide services outside of Russia. And this is a very important point because a lot of people think you can only do business in your location or your demographic. You can actually tap into industries and markets out there. Let's say, for example, you're in Zambia, right? You can easily find a lot of gigs in America, and you already know that these are very high-paying jobs. So as a youth, if you've got a phone, you can maximize your potential by getting clients from all over the world. So how am I going to be able to fuse the different cultures? It's about understanding and having an equilibrium and a balance, because I know for a fact that there's certain ways we Zambians operate and there's certain ways that Russians operate. Let's say, for example, a lot of Russians are very upfront. If they do not like you, they're just going to say, I do not like you, I think you're whack, and so on and so forth. While in Zambia, you have to be very conservative, etc. And with regards to the work ethic, right, you need to always be on Zambian people's behind. If you've got like a specific target, you have to always remind them and all that stuff. So it's something that I can manage and something that we can get to overcome. This is one of the reasons why getting to filter out people is very vital. Let's say, for example, you want to have a partner in Zambia. In order for you to filter out the serious ones from the non-serious ones, you have to look at the history. Has this person had a history of being successful at something? How many partners did they have before? So like that, you prevent yourself from being scammed. And there's this experience that I've had dealing with Zambians, because mostly when you deal with Zambians for like 5 times, you know, you do 5 business deals, right? The 3 business deals are going to go very well, but the 4th and the 5th one, you're most likely going to be scammed or you're going to be disappointed. So it's very important for you to know the type of people that you're dealing with and for you to just kind of prevent those things. So with regards to fusing the 2 different cultures, I mean, I'm Zambian and I know how to handle my people and how to deal with them and how to maximize and get a lot from them. So it's very easy to do. It's not even something that I'm worried about. And, you know, do not really misunderstand me. I'm not saying these people are bad or that those people are bad. Everybody has got their own ways of doing things, and you just have to like tap into their productive side, if I can put it that way. You have to understand, like, how am I going to be able to like get the most from this individual? And it's also different. Everybody's different in Zambia. We don't really have like some one type of way of doing things. Everybody is different. So when you are a self-employed person or an entrepreneur, you're going to be able to like easily tap into people. So I know the strengths of Linda, Frank, and your team just by, you know, tuning into your program. I know who I can do what with, you understand? So those are the traits that a self-employed type of person has, because you're easily able to like see, okay, with this person, I'm able to like get the most out of this using this particular way. They might be talented in this way. So if I really want to maximize, you know, opportunities with them, I have to like deal with them in this particular aspect, you know? So those are very key areas, and we can get to like teach people these things.
Before you get into blockchain technology, I just want to emphasize that point that you've just made, because our people can be very quick to jump on this, and they'll be like, hey, we are like this and like that. It's just a general consensus, including British people, not just Zambians, where we all have a particular way of doing things, and strengths and weaknesses. So as Muna says, as an entrepreneur or a self-employed person, you just have to learn your team and learn how to get the best out of them.
Right. And by the way, even me, I not quite a problem. I'm a big problem. I'm all, you know, I've also got my flaws. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, or just wanted to put that out there. So getting back to blockchain technology.
Yeah.
So blockchain technology is basically a distributed ledger. So a distributed ledger, what's a ledger? So in accounting, right, there's the in and the out. So I'm not really going to get into accounts. So basically blockchain technology allows the transactions to be open, transparent, immutable, and very cheap. So we already use similar type of distributed ledger. It's just that this type of distributed ledger is decentralized. Let's say, for example, everybody has got a Visa card, a MasterCard, right? You are basically using distributed ledger, but it's just that it is centralized. But with blockchain technology, it is decentralized and it is immutable. So I think that's the most basic way that I can get to explain. So a very practical example is, everybody has heard of the term Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a currency that operates using blockchain technology. There are many smart contracts that you can program using blockchain technology, and there's a lot of things that you can get to build on top of the blockchain technology, which is a distributed ledger. So why would you want to have a decentralized database or ledger? This is very important because it increases transparency. So now let me break it down so that people can really get to consume this. Let's say, for example, the Ministry of Lands, they've got records, right? And those records are stored in a database somewhere. But when there is a scandal, people can easily erase that database. And I think this already happened. We had a situation where all the records were erased at the Ministry of Lands. So we do not really have the exact, the files, and we can't really get to retrieve that. But with blockchain technology, it is not very easy for you to do that. That's the reason why it is decentralized, because in order for you to perform a certain function, you need permission from a lot of different parties, and it's not really easy for you to erase such type of information. So how would that benefit Zambia? It's going to prevent corruption. It's going to, promote transparency. You need to know that, okay, if I go to the Ministry of Lands, if I purchase this land, the titles, the title deeds, and the certificates that I'm going to be getting, they are going to be authentic and they are going to be mine. So if Zambia gets to utilize blockchain technology, there's going to be more transparency, which is going to reduce corruption, which is going to help us, earn money, save money, and just basically get to do things efficiently. And other ways that we can get to use blockchain technologies, let's say, for example, the issue of tax collection. This is where Zambia loses a lot of money because there is a lot of hurdles from the time, the city council people collect the money to the time the money reflects in the bank. And the other thing that we need to do in Zambia is we need to digitize our systems. When a marketeer in Soweto market pays for her rentals and all that stuff, right? The money has to go directly into their account instead of it being collected by the council workers. Then they take it to a certain commander. Then this commander grabs the money. We can have a payment portal which basically links the marketeer to the Ministry of Finance type of account. So we can get to do that using, or rather by creating payment gateways. And if you talk about Zambia, right, there's a lot of things that we need to achieve. Right now, a lot of people in Zambia are unbanked. They are mostly using mobile money. Our systems are not really like in Europe, whereby you can just go with your phone and then just simply pay using your mobile phone or your credit card. It's not really that easy to do. So with this, it's very difficult for us to save money because there's a lot of middlemen. By the time the money reaches the Ministry of Finance, and like that, we're not efficient. But if you get to build payment portals, gateways, you can easily use blockchain technology to sort of keep those records and make sure that it is immutable. Immutability means you can't really get to tamper with it. You can't erase it. Once Namayo, Adipira, that information will be on the blockchain. It won't be tampered with. People are going to be able to have like a transaction hash and say, this is my transaction ID. This is the time that I paid, and I paid the money, and it should be there. If there is any imbalance or discrepancy, we can easily get to know where the money went missing. So it's all about getting to utilize these methods in order for us to prevent the leakage of money. So you might be asking, hey, Mona, did you talk to the Zambian government about this solution? Yes, we have sent multiple emails to the Ministry of Finance. Up to now, I haven't received anything. So we might have these ideas as youths, but how to get to implement them and how to let the government understand the importance of having such setups is the most frustrating part with regards to, dealing with African governments, because they do not really know where the world is going to, what needs to be done, and how they can basically get to utilize people who are already doing these things. So it's very important for us to have leaders who've got the vision, who are exposed. Because if we get to implement these things, right, Zambia is going to be saving a lot of money. We're going to be having overhead, profits, and we're not going to have any money leaks. So it's very important to have these systems set up. And you can only do that by getting to collaborate with people who are already exposed to environments where this type of technology is already being utilized.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that extensive answer. I've had a question from someone, Linda Ifonpova Group, at Block Tech. So tech is just technology, block the linkages. So in the keywords block, chain, and technology. So basically linking all these payments so that there's a trail of things that have transpired. Like Mona alluded to the fact that something like a portal, a payment portal, where you just use your card or your phone, you just press it on there, the payment is made. So if you are a marketeer, you want to pay for your space in the market, you don't have to exchange monies with anyone. So when you make that payment using that form of making the payment, it means that there's going to be a trace of your transaction, basically. So keywords to Wibukisha, technology, link, chain, blockchain technology, then that will help you just sort of dissect that. Mwivasana confused that you if my words now, Amuna, I want to bring to your attention a comment by BG or BJ actually. This is fantastic. I've been talking about teaching our Zambian kids coding for a while now. Proud of you, young man, and he wants to support your cause. And there's another person who is asking if you're on LinkedIn. I've
Yes.
just put the so you can search for him on LinkedIn. Quite a few people want to support your cause, which would be fantastic, because the more you support Muna, the more he can support other youths. Right. Who else has a question?
Right. So before I get more questions, can I just also add something else? Because at the moment, right, the Zambian government wants to create employment, and in order for them to create employment, they need to have money. So utilizing technology can really minimize the cost of operation of the government. And one of the most frustrating things that we experience and that a lot of young people experience in Zambia is we do not really have payment gateways which we can easily link to our mobile phones, because everybody has got mobile money. And even simple services such as PayPal. Do you know that PayPal is not really accessible in Zambia?
No,
And
I was surprised.
yes, PayPal is not really accessible in Zambia, and it is prohibited for some reason. So Zikta, you need to explain why that is, because PayPal can allow Zambians to have payment methods in other countries. Let's say, for example, you've got this amazing talent and you've got a service that you're providing and you want to work with somebody who's in America. How are they going to send you the money? You need PayPal to link that person in America. When they pay you, you need to receive the money in Zambia. But PayPal is prohibited or restricted in Zambia. So what is that doing to the environment? It's not really allowing the people to venture into activities that have got a low cost entry into business, because they can utilize online jobs. They can find, gigs outside. For example, using Fiverr, you can easily find easy tasks. Let's say, for example, how to edit a picture, how to type, how to translate something. So these are easy gigs that a lot of unemployed youths can get to utilize, but they are not really able to participate in the global economy because there isn't any link between unemployed youths and the world. So it's very important to utilize technology. Technology is something that you can use with minimal entry. And a lot of people keep on asking, how am I going to start a business? I need a lot of money to start business. You do not really need a lot of money. If you've got a phone, you can already start a business. You can create a YouTube channel. You can start, growing your audience, receive money, monetizing money, and then invest in whatever type of niche that you're trying to do. So it's very important for us to provide these facilities for young people to look for gigs outside of Zambia. You do not really need to be outside of Zambia in order for you to start making money outside of Zambia. Like 100% of my clients are outside of Russia. I always use my online presence and online marketing to attract and get to advertise my services to people outside of Russia. So it's very important for us to provide these facilities to young people. And if we do this right, there's going to be more people getting into entrepreneurship. There's going to be young people who are starting businesses because they are able to participate on a global scale. So it's very important for the Ministry of Technology to sort of handle these problems that we are currently facing, because if the government can't really get to employ everybody, people need to get innovative, start tapping into the worldwide market, and then be able to earn money. They can only do this if there is a facility for them to link themselves to the outside world. And you can only get to do this with payment portals like PayPal.
Absolutely.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Sorry, Linda. I'll just add it up because it just goes really well. So when I qualified as a life coach, my first 2 clients were not in the UK. My first client was in America. My second one was in New Zealand, because there was that facility to be able to do that there was technology, and they were able to pay me despite where they were at the time. So it's important, if we're going to type in, it's a world market. The world has literally opened up, and we are closing it to us from ourselves.
That is so true. And another example I'll give you is the world we're living in. We're living in the world pandemic, and COVID has taught us that there's lots of other ways of doing business. The past 2 years, most of the times I've had to work from home, just with sometimes just a smartphone and a laptop. You can make payments, all sorts of different transactions. PayPal that's a very good point, actually. I think on your program, Muna, perhaps in collaboration with us, I think we need to press the different ministries, Ministry of Technology and Zed as well, to ensure that this is fixed, because young people can do businesses, just minor things, use their skills and talents to sell their products, or even purchase things. Some people like to buy things from China. They can't make payments. They can't purchase from Amazon, some of them, because they don't have the right payment facilities. So that's really, really critical. Does anyone else have a question? I can see Dr. Barbara just coming in. I'll add her to the live stream. Doc.
Hi, good evening, everybody. And I've come in really late. I finished work at 5:30, but for some reason I was just walking around and I didn't know how time flew. Thank you very much, Mona. I've been listening to everything though, because I had my headsets on, walking around the shops, listening to the show, and it's eye-opening. I've just found it shocking that the PayPal doesn't work in Zambia, because I had young people who wanted to do some part-time work. So I sent them a website where, my son uses it, where you can just do some, like admin work, and, it's like you bid for the work, you do the admin, you can do whatever you want, and then they'll pay you easily by PayPal. So I gave it to some young lads in Zambia, and I thought it worked. So they kept on asking me, and then I was getting upset. I was thinking, what's wrong with this? It's so easy. Why can't you just do it? Everybody's doing it. It's amazing. I didn't know that they didn't have access to that. That's eye-opening. It's something that they should look into, because we are living in a universal, village where everything is interlinked. With PayPal, everybody can, there's so many young people who can, like the job I'm talking about that my son does is the easiest thing a human being can do. Because there's so many people who have offices and they just want somebody to help them. They don't want to pay for anybody, and it's just 2 minutes, 5 minutes work, and they get paid. Anyway, that's really good. When I can't say much because I know I haven't had time to follow it thoroughly, but that's the last bit that I've listened to, and it's shocked me a bit.
Thank you. Bomkeleva,
yeah, so
you have something?
No, actually, it's just amazing that you've just opened up the Pandora box, my brother, to many people right now. And this is what I've been talking about, to say the human resources is really required. This knowledge that you, the diaspora, are keeping for the Wazungus needs to also be shared back home. Don't keep it just because I know they provided you with good incentives and a good lifestyle. But please, no place like home. Remember where you come from. You remember your humble beginning. So, va Doctor, va Linda, va Frank, Munalula, please, Bogile, remember your humble beginning. Let's go back home and help our brothers and sisters and bring this PayPal, whatever you put. Yes, PayPal. I know I've used it, and I even pay my credit card is helped by them. They are the one that is making everything possible and making it safer to transact online. So
They can
Let
even
us
make maybe just a national trial PayPal system for
exactly,
Zambia on its own.
exactly.
Yeah,
Somebody can make money from
that
it.
I think
But
we
Yeah,
that
we
so
should
that
press.
came about because of this gentleman here, who is computer or IT knowledgeable. His knowledge is he has the know-how, and we have so many young Zambians out there that have this talent, and we want to we have a good government. And my question to Munalula is, what do you take of this government's program? Are you on board, or you are on the other side, Pawato?
right, so I am definitely in full support of the government, and I really believe they have good intentions. Why do I say so? Number one, they created ministries that really promote such ideas to be implemented. So first of all, there is an intention. That's the most important thing. So if we are able to use platforms like yours, we can be able to like open their eyes and say, what are the youths talking about? What challenges are the youths having at this particular moment, and how can we get to solve them? So I really believe they have intentions, and we are going to be able to work together and just basically provide the solutions for young people. So I am in full support of the government, and I really believe that we're going to disrupt how Zambians operate and how the economy is, because they have intentions and they are purposely positioning themselves to achieve certain things. So that's something that I'm super proud of. So
Thank you very much,
So Linda,
Bankulipa.
just a comment on PayPal. If you have a Zambian account in a Zambian bank and you are outside the country, you can actually pay using PayPal, but people in Zambia cannot receive the
yes,
money.
because
But
it's restricted.
yes,
They can't
but
receive
actually,
payments.
yeah, but you can use it to pay for services outside.
Mm.
And just another comment about the blockchain. If for example, if we really needed to deal with the issue of rigging elections,
Yes.
if you use the blockchain, nobody will rig elections. I think that will help to bring about, to lessen,
Yes.
political violence that happens each time there are elections.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So, like for example, during the I don't. Do we have time?
Yeah, sure.
I'll give you time. Go for it. I
Right.
like someone
So
else said, yeah, sure.
Sorry,
right.
Go
So
for it. Bankulipa
d-
Namalanja,
during
he's the boss.
during the elections, right, we had a huge problem with regards to verifying the results, and all parties had to sort of collectively agree. So blockchain does get to solve this because it is a distributed ledger, and once you've got results coming from a verified source, let's say for example the results are being tabulated in Solwezi, right? Once you put that information on blockchain technology, right, it is verified and nobody can get to tamper with the figures, and there wouldn't be any discrepancies. So number one, we're going to minimize time, and once we get the results, we just put them on the blockchain. It's authentic, it's verified, and like that we'll get to have less disputes. Even the issue of results, grade 12 results, university results, we need to have certificates on the blockchain technology, because there's a lot of if you're rich and you're able to manipulate the results, you can be able to change the results in the ECZ database. But using a distributed decentralized ledger blockchain technology, you are going to be able to have authentic results, and you're going to prevent manipulation. So these are all the different solutions that Africa can get to utilize. And talking about the payment portal, like PayPal, what we need to do is we need to link mobile money to PayPal, because a lot of people are already exposed to mobile money. So this is one of the reasons why we need to link mobile money to PayPal. Then PayPal is linked to the rest of the world. So getting to provide these solutions for ourselves, because Zambia has got unique problems and we need unique solutions. So this is one of the reasons why we need to have innovative minds who are going to help us solve our very own problems. Because the problems that developed countries have are different from the problems that upcoming developing nations have. So it's very important for us to allow people to be innovative, to get innovation. And this is one of the reasons why I was talking about providing incentives for them to start acting in a certain way. And if we are able to link mobile money, it's going to be very easy for people to set up an online store. Did you know that every Facebook page has got the ability to have an online store? So if you are able to have an online store and you're able to link your mobile money right to your Facebook page, you can transact and do business from people all over Zambia. You could be in Solwezi dealing with somebody who's in Wapula, because there's that trust, there's that payment. If they pay for the service, you receive the notification on your mobile money, you give them whatever product that they are looking for. So like that, if we are able to connect ourselves, even conducting business with one another within Zambia is going to increase. And this is also going to improve the economy. We're going to have more employment, and more people are going to be going into entrepreneurship and self-employment. So all these things play they help people to get into that mindset. So it's very important to provide the environment. I always talk about providing environment and creating a healthy incentive system that is going to indirectly affect the subconscious of people. Because if you make it very suitable for people to be innovative, go into entrepreneurship, what's going to happen? You're going to have more people get into entrepreneurship. Why did we have a lot of cadreism and hooliganism? Because they were being incentivized to do so, because the cadres were having a lot of money. The cadres were grabbing money from the marketeers, and instead of remitting it to Zambia Revenue Authority, they were pocketing it. So what does that tell young people? It tells them that if you want to be rich, you need to behave like a thug. You need to go to the gym and just be outrageous. Like that, you are incentivizing them indirectly to act in a certain way. So it's very important to always play with the subconscious of people and provide this environment for them to thrive in. So we've got a long way to go, and we need this government. Yeah, we need this government to continue its trajectory, but we are headed in the right direction.
Absolutely. It does seem like we're heading in the right direction. Vankulimba mentioned PayPal, that some people are able to use PayPal if you link it to your bank account. One other problem, just to say before I make my point, we are not being paid by PayPal. So we're not promoting one particular company over another, but it's just one of those easiest companies to work for, like Muna said. So Vankulimba mentioned that if you link your bank accounts to PayPal, you can make payments to purchase products from across the world. Trust comes in. Our people are very untrusting. They'll think if I add my bank account, could you pay and stuff like that. I just want to misspell that myth. It's very safe. You can add your bank details. We all have to do that. Another thing that I wanted to mention is postage, Mona. Every Facebook page you've got the ability to add a store, yes, which is a great facility that Abena Mark has added to that, which is really brilliant. And there's only one girl in Zambia that I know who sells makeup and weaves hair products, and she does it so well. But she one little mistake that she has made, maybe she doesn't know about this, hopefully she'll be listening, or I can forward her this link, because you made some very important points there. You can link your payment details.
Linda, I don't
Yes.
I didn't understand what you said. Did you say she said what?
She sells
has got a
hair
Facebook
products.
page. She sells
You
hair
said-
products, and sorry?
Okay. No, I thought you said weed. I was like, what?
Weaves.
No, she says weave on, hair products,
weave.
like a Shopify account, but on Facebook.
My apologies. I thought
Yes.
now what at this she
Fish
sells
Mulen,
weed.
Mama Mkelevai.
So,
But Vom Kelevai, the hemp industry is a very huge industry. The hemp industry, the weed business. There's it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So the other day I saw the government was
legal.
burning a lot. Yes. So,
but is it not legal? Tabalela ndaba PF at legalize. Did I hear them wrong?
in one of my WhatsApp groups, we had a heated argument over the hemp industry. It
Huge.
exhausted
Okay.
in we are okay to agree to disagree. Some people are for it, some are not. I
Yes.
think it's big money.
Big money, because a lot of people, when you talk about the hemp industry, right? A lot of people only think ichamba weed. There's a lot of things that you can create from,
Therapeutical. They use it for therapy, don't they?
for
Especially
medicine. You can have hair products. There's a lot of things that we can get to utilize the hemp industry with, and countries like Zambia and the DRC have got the best hemp quality. So already
and
we've
Malawi,
got
apparently, Muna.
and Malawi, exactly. So Zambia, DRC, Malawi, we've got the best quality of hemp. So all these are multi-billion-dollar industries that we can get to tap in and get to. Why are we complaining that there's no money there? We've got a lot of sources of income. There's a lot of things that we can get to utilize. And this is one of the reasons why I was saying people need to understand how to use minimum resources and how to grow something using minimal resources, because a lot of times people have got this exaggerated notion of saying, I need to have 100,000 US dollars in order for me to start a business. You can start with whatever you have, utilize them, then grow from there. That's very important. And we need to teach people to be able to identify opportunities, go for them, utilize, and build from there, because that's the only way we are going to get ourselves out of this poverty mess. We need people to be able to see where they can tap in and make a certain venture lucrative. We need to teach people. But the thing is, even looking at our syllabus, we're mostly about memorizing, because I remember in grade 12, 11, I didn't even go to the lab a lot of times, but I knew that, okay, if you want to test for starch in biology, this is the procedure, but I've never even been to the lab. Our syllabus is more about memorizing theory. That's why we don't have any worldwide recognized innovators, because we barely do things. We're all about theory. And yesterday I did listen to the economist. What's his name? Is it Mr. Trevor
Simumba.
Yes, he was saying that we need practical solutions for our problems instead of textbook type of hypothesis. This is the aspect of innovation. You need to sort of use different approach to solve problems. So these are the things that we need to change when people are very young. When they are in their infancy, we promote them to be creative. We allow them to work with their hands to do stuff. So if we start doing this from an early age, I'm telling you, in the next 50 years, in the next 100 years, we are going to be powerhouses. So it's very important to attack the psyche of people and allow them to act in a certain way.
Indeed. We only have a few minutes left, and we have been joined by Bakafwembi. As I was saying before, Clever, could you mute yourself, please? As I was saying before we moved on to the next point, I was saying that it's really crucial that the young entrepreneurs who are using Facebook to sell, they utilize the free Facebook shop that you can have on there and add payment methods. But the point I was getting to was the postage. It's become really tricky for people to send. I remember approaching this young lady that if you did this, you'd be able to sell to people like ourselves in diaspora. But she finds it tricky to send certain products across to other countries. So perhaps this is something else that the government could look into it, making it easier for people selling products to sell to other countries. Bakafumbi, do you want to come in? We have about 6 minutes.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, the panel. Good evening, Mona.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the interview I had on your show. And this has been very insightful to a lot of people. There's your programs. Yeah, when you go to blockchain technology, you've presented them to the government. I've been through those channels as well. You have a lot of valid solutions as a young entrepreneur. Muna, there's still a lot of challenges in those areas. We've got the Ministry of Innovation and Technology. It is now being run by Honorable Felix Mutati. He's a big challenge when it comes to accepting young people into technology. You will not get a response for now. Hopefully, you will. Muna, your solutions of the understanding that you have got that even people like marketeers can use your solutions, you know, to use the blockchain so that the councils can see what they're getting. Everyone can see what sort of money that they're receiving. You know, evidenced money. We're going to call it evidenced money. You know, those are solutions for a young age, a young mind, but these things cannot happen with some sort of people that are there now. You know, your solutions would go a very long way to have someone with an open mind. I'm not really condemning the current minister that is there now, but as for you, you just need to keep pushing. You have got the best solutions that we understand now, and even some of the little projects that we've got. I know I'm doing a water project, but we are doing communications projects, which can help marketeers in local places. So people like you, even if you had to get that and interface with that, I don't think at the moment you're going to get that. So in the meantime, you just need to keep pushing your cause, and you're doing such a great job, Mona. And I really appreciate you for what you're doing, and I'm sure a lot of Zambians do. But we've got a long way to go. And that's my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Do you want to comment on that, Mona?
Yes. So what we need to do is the other thing that I really hate is the youths versus the senior citizens. That's something that I really hate, because we need to work together. We need the wisdom of our senior citizens so that they can guide us. As much as the youths have got these, brand new solutions to old ideas, we need the guidance of our senior citizens, and we need to work together. That's why in Bemba, they say, right? And vice versa. So we need to collaborate. Yes, we need to collaborate and work together. So they just need to be open-minded and include us, and then we can be able to improve the value chain, because the value chain is very important to improve. Let's say, for example, you've got this amazing product. We make a payment portal, right? If the transportation industry is lacking behind, right, then basically your business is stagnant. So identifying the value chain, the whole entire value chain, it needs to be improved. So it's not only about providing one solution, it's the whole entire value chain, the whole entire ecosystem. That's when we're going to have efficiency, and that's when we're going to have tangible results. So we can only do this if we all collaborate and work together and just basically improve Zambia, because by the end of it all, that's why we're doing these things, to make sure that our children's children are able to be better. You know, at least they don't have to go through the challenges that we're going through right now.
Indeed.
Linda,
Absolutely.
can I just say one thing?
Yes, sure.
Sorry, my camera was off. You know, I just wanted to say, in regards to, older people and younger people, it's always in the approach, the way you say something. If you say something in a nice way, somebody will get it. If you don't, I always tell my son, wherever you go, you always have to have the Paul's approach to sorting out things. Paul, the apostle, the preacher, when he went to preach about his religion to another place, he didn't insult them. He didn't tell them that you people don't have anything. I'm going to tell you about my Jesus. He told them that you've got an unknown God yourself, and then started talking to them. So you first have to praise people and then teach them. Just like if somebody doesn't breastfeed their child, you first have to praise them. They're a wonderful mother. Your child was thirsty. You gave them an orange juice. However, this was not the best drink. They drink the milk. In future, don't do it. If you just go to that person and start telling them, which boy, diarrhea, you just cut the whole process right there. The person will become defensive. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Very important point. The approach, how you bring something to the table. That's very important.
I'm going to cut in on that. I'm sorry. We are talking about a professional. Yeah.
Can you hold on, please?
Yeah.
So we have Percy, please. Percy, come in.
Yes, Mona. Nice. At least you are in our house today, which is quite nice. We welcome you.
Great to be here, sir.
I hope the drink we were given, you enjoyed it. Anyway,
I loved it.
I hope all of I hope all of our audience is fine. Myself, actually, the topic today was quite interesting, and it's my field, but I won't talk too much on that and that. The only thing I'll say is, the Ministry of Technology, personally, they're not doing much, because the things you guys were discussing, the time they've been in office, this 100 days they've been in office, they should have at least started to improve things. Because at the moment in Zambia, it's like some African countries, they're even much better in terms of the way they've done their internet. Look at Kenya. That's the easiest one. Look at Kenya, how they've developed their systems. Right now, even in terms of the e-commerce for Kenya, it's much better than ours. Why? It's because they looked into that internet thing. They made sure that they educated their people, and well, you can just see the economy. But you look at our own Ministry of whatever technology. For me, the people who are running it, if you ask me, they're not qualified. Yeah, politicians, you can appoint a politician, even if he's got a grade 12, whatever, he can be a minister, fine. But the technocrats they've put in, well, they're not on. I wouldn't put them even on my caliber. I know my caliber is quite low. I'm just here to rant about the Ministry of Technology, because they're doing rubbish.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was my point,
so
Valinda. That was my point.
Yeah.
That was exactly my point. What I was saying is that it is not about Abakalamba or Ichokulanda Winokuba Kalamba. We have got a lot of young people, not me, not Muna, and not Thing, that have presented a lot of things to the government. The people that are there, they are not. These people, they would rather listen to another old person who is not going to tell them something like that. We're talking about professionalism, to say, look at this young person's idea. This person has only been 2 years in the industry. He's presenting a professional approach to something like that. That's what we're missing in innovation and technology. They want to look at the other old people that they had deals with a long time ago. That's what exactly Percy is saying.
So much.
Thank you.
I think this is not about age.
Exactly.
I think I'm here representing the
older generation.
Yeah, the old generation. There's absolutely nothing to do with age.
Yeah, but just to support you, I wanted to tell the audience before you come in, Bankulimba is, he is one of those gurus when it comes to this sort of stuff. So Muna mentioned that sometimes you have and vice versa. I hope I haven't murdered that proverb. But the thing is, Bankulimba is an excellent example of those older generation who know this stuff. So it's not about age. Please, sir, go for it. In the last 1 minute that we have, the floor is yours, Bankulimba.
Thank you, Linda, for saying that. It's really not. It's not about age. It's about how progressive one is. You know, learning does never end. Some of us are BBCs. We are born before computers, and we taught ourselves how to use a computer. I didn't go to a school to learn how to use a computer. I didn't go to school to learn how to use a smartphone. I did not. I mean, I taught myself to understand what blockchain technology is all about. And you see, anybody can learn these things and pass them on to others. You know, people like Mr. Mutati, he may be old as he is, but his position of minister is for providing leadership. And if he's the right leader, he will know how to find young people who are technologically sound and who can bring innovation in that ministry. It's all about leadership, not age at all. Thank you.
Thank you
Can I
so
just
much.
add
Now,
something in terms? I'm sorry, just 1 second. I'm sorry, I know I came late. For me, I do agree with Wakafwimbi that it's about age. Let's be realistic. Don't hit about the bush. It is about age. When it comes to technology, these kids who were born yesterday, they know more about computer than us who were teaching ourselves. Like the big man has said, he was teaching himself. A kid will know more. The problem we have with the current guys who are working in that department, it's because they are only looking at people who they say, I've got experience and I'm a computer programmer. And he did computer programming in 1976.
I think
I
we're
think
being
They're the ones that are
part of
looking
I
at.
these
think we are, I
people.
think we are missing. I think we
okay,
are missing the point.
No, for me, I'm not
we are
missing
literally running
the
out of
point.
time,
It is
You
Muna.
that's
are.
the
You
fact
are.
I've
You
noticed.
are. All we are talking about here is leadership.
Yeah,
An old person
Percy,
like
we
No,
Mutazi can
yes,
provide leadership.
leadership, yes.
That's going to
No, no,
create
no, no.
an environment for young people who are, who are technology savvy.
Well, for
To
me,
follow
he's
the leadership.
failed. I'm sorry, sir. For me, he's failed. If he had to do something, he would have done something. He's had 100 days to put the skeleton up there. So for me, he's failed.
He
Yeah, and
can't do
that's
it
That's what
because
your
I can say.
he needs to have a plan with the money. And with Mtata's got children who are just as
He
educated as
doesn't
all
have
of
any
us.
plan.
So it's not like he's
okay.
some guy who
Thank
doesn't
you,
know
Dr.
anything.
Barbara.
He's a very
We have run out
intelligent
of
lad.
time. We have run out of time. I will ask Bamkelebai to make one final sentiment and literally a quick sentiment because you had the courtesy to put your hand up, which is really sweet. Thank you so much for doing that. Makes life easier. And after you've done that, I'm going to ask Muna to start thinking about perhaps 5 things that you think the New Dawn government can do in the immediate space to help a small business person, a young person selling hair products, a young person selling vegetables, to make their life easier. So 5 things that you think the government can do to ease the problems that the young people in business are experiencing. And Mkaleba, go for it. Then Muna can just wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Linda, for giving me this opportunity. I won't take much time. Percy, you alluded to your opinion, which is very respectable, and we understand and respect that. And my big brother here, Mapanzia, you have also said it all. Society has to understand one thing. When we, the old generation, because I'm not going to put myself in a young generation, when we, the old generation, can see the progressive attitude in the young generation, then it means that you and me, we have done our job. But when we see that our generation, they are lost, we are not promoting them in any field, then we know that, and they are ignorant about nothing, then we know that we have not done our job correctly. We have not groomed enough young children or young people to take over from the knowledge that we acquired, either through whatever means we acquired them as well. So let us just understand one thing, that we are feeling pain right now because of the previous regimes. I'm using the word plural, regimes that we've had that have never had the courtesy to look and take care and bring these people's dream, the young generation's dream, to where it's supposed to be today, or to reach the world standard. So we have to understand on that aspect and say, please, let us not be dream killers. This greediness has killed us in Zambia. This greediness, people are dying with the total 1000% of knowledge without having even imparted not even a single 1% in their children.
Thank you.
So that mentality we should do away with.
Thank you so much. Very good points. Thank you so much. Hope Muna, I would like you to just wrap it up for us. Just summarize the main things that we've talked about and what the government can do to make things easier on the business industry.
Right. So before I get into that, I just want to, apologize for my earlier example, the one that you scolded me over. I didn't mean any malice. So I hope.
I know I'm your big sister. I can scold you and we move on very quickly.
Yes. So no
No
malice,
problem.
no bad, no evil intention. So the major thing that the government has to do is create an environment which is ripe for uh, the citizens basically from all walks of life and from different backgrounds. So you earlier gave me an example of Vanamaliket. So if you look at our such type of people, such as Vanamaliket, they've got access to mobile money and they've got access to mobile banking. And 70% of our population is totally unbanked. So what we need to do is we need to be able to infuse and make sure we've got services that can help these unbanked people be able to scale and grow their businesses. Kenya is a very good example because they have M-Pesa. I don't know whether you've heard about M-Pesa. It's like very popular in East Africa. So basically, it allows the unbanked, because when we were talking about PayPal, not everybody has got access to a Visa or a MasterCard. PayPal uses Visa and MasterCard. So what is a 12-year-old going to be, how is that 12-year-old going to have access to a Visa or a MasterCard? So these things also play a key role. So it's very important for us to think about the unbanked, which is 70% of our population. So what the government needs to do is we need to provide a very good, ripe environment for them. So how do we provide a ripe environment for them? By creating an ecosystem that really makes them work flawlessly and with ease when it comes to making payments and having them connected to different services, facilities. They can use their mobile money. Let's say, for example, you want to pay for water at a well. You can use your mobile money to link your mobile payment to whatever services are being provided. So like that, you also get to let them have credit history, because when you are able to identify the credit history of these unbanked people, you can give them a loan. A lot of people can't really get a loan because they don't really have any credit history, but they've got access to mobile money. So what we need to do is we need to have a system that really caters to this untapped niche, which is 70% of our population. So this is a very huge market. So we need to link the mobile money and all these different ecosystems so that these people who are in these situations can be able to grow their business, scale. So talking about Vanna Maliket, right? If she's got very good credit history, she's going to be able to get a bigger loan. When she gets a bigger loan, she's going to be able to scale her business, expand her business, employ more people. So this can only happen if there is good communication between the mobile money and PayPal payment portals, and there's like this history of credit. So these are the little things that we can get to create employment. Creating employment doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a factory. You can just do these simple things that can really allow people to elevate themselves. So to me, the issue of creating employment can be tackled using technology. We need to use technology, especially as African nations, because African nations can risk more. The reason why we can risk more is we don't have anything to lose. If you don't have anything to lose, you can take advantage of blockchain technology. How can you invite more people to come into Zambia? By offering tax-free incentives for blockchain technology type of companies, and you just provide them with restrictions saying if you want to set up a company, you need Zambian natives to provide this fund. Like that, you're able to bring in people with more money, and you're able to improve the livelihood of Zambians by making them be able to take advantage of these people with money. I can give you another practical example. Malta. Malta is a country that has sort of made blockchain and cryptocurrencies legal. So a lot of rich Asian people who are doing businesses and they're having like a lot of profits, they're going to Malta because they've got, those incentives to do business there. So if you look at the initial expense that you need to create this environment, you're not basically losing anything. There are no resources which are going to be exploited because these people are just basically setting shop in Zambia and they are creating these multi-billion-dollar type of industries, and you basically get to harness whatever they are trying to create and you get to make money in Zambia. So technology is one of the aspects, or rather one of the industries that we can use to improve Zambia. And using technology, we can even get to let the people benefit from the mineral resources that we have. I come from the copper belt, from Quito to be precise. I have never really benefited much from the minerals that we have, but using technology, you can evaluate the land and say, this land has got so and so amount of copper. How can we get to empower the citizens, because they inhabit this land, they are entitled. It's our God-given gift. You can use technology, evaluate the land, assign shares to people who belong to this particular land, and they get to benefit. They are able to redeem those shares. They can use mobile money to pay for goods. They can start a business. There are many ways that you can get to create employment without using a lot of money, without really getting to invest a whole lot. So it's very important for the Ministry of Technology to utilize all these avenues, use little resources, and have a huge turnover. Return on investment is going to be huge. So that's that. There's so many things we can talk about.
Big sigh at the end. Fantastic. Nicely done. Well, thank you so much, viewers, for having joined us. This has been a presentation of TVBAKWETU, and our special guest was Munalula Munalula, simply known as Muna from Zed Corner, who has been talking us through various business little tricks of the trade, if you like. And we will see you tomorrow. Good night.